Hey there, my name is Mackenzie and welcome to my little corner of the internet. So today I'm actually doing something that's definitely like a new thing for my channel. I don't do this very often, but recently I did a little haul video for some stationery that I had bought within that month of February. And I actually kind of really liked doing that haul video. I liked, like, it was fun to edit and I liked the way that it turned out. And so I thought I would do another one for the month of March for just general purchases, not specifically anything, but just things that I've purchased within the month of March. A few of these were purchased in February. I thought I would include them in this video as well. Of course, these aren't all of my purchases for this month. These are just the ones that I think you guys are going to find the most interesting. So we're going to jump right into it and get started. So first things first, I don't even know where to begin. If you can hear a lot of like banging and stuff, I apologize. There's like construction that's going on and it's really early in the morning. It's 8:10, so it's actually probably the garbage truck. It's probably the garbage truck actually. So I'm sorry if you can hear that. It's funny because my phone camera, my iPhone picks up the tiniest of sounds. Like I swear to God, a pin could drop in the other apartment over and it catches on my phone. It drives me nuts. So you can hear things from pretty far away when I'm filming. But anyway, let's get into it. So the first purchase I'm going to be sharing with you today is manga. I don't normally read manga. It's a very rare thing that I do. Back when I was a teenager, I used to read it a lot more and watch anime a lot more, but you know, around the age of like 15 or so, I kind of started moving away from that kind of media and engaging more with live action media in Japan. I'm not a huge anime fan, but there are a few series that I'm particularly fond of and a fan of, and recently Shugo Chara got a reboot. They've started a new series called Shugo Chara Jewel Joker, and I deeply loved the first series, and that was one of my gateways into Japanese pop culture and entertainment when I was like 11 years old. It has a very special place in my heart. It's a very special series to me. So of course I own all of the manga. I bought them as they were coming out in English, and when they announced that this would be a new series, I was super excited for it. I am a little disappointed that it's not a more like mature Amu, like kind of with her grown up, especially because the majority of the fandom that stuck with the series originally 10 years ago are grown up now. We're all adults. Peach Pit, the authors, they did recognize that and they said that they initially intended on it being a more mature series. However, what happened is because they wanted to have it in Nakayoshi magazine, it had to be like aimed at that age demographic because it was originally serialized in that magazine as well. So I guess they had like a publishing deal with them so that this one would be serialized in that magazine as well once again, but then they had to keep it like PG-13 basically. Probably actually less than that. It had to be like E for everyone. So we have Amu's still a kid and you know she's still in middle school and that kind of thing, and I think they had to kind of change the way initially they would have done it, and that was really heartbreaking for me to read that because it was like we were so freaking close to getting this done the way that everybody expected it to be done and was hoping it to be done, and it's literally just on a technicality that they had to do it differently. So I was a little apprehensive, but so far I am loving it. I'm really interested in where they're going with the storyline. So when the Japanese volume released for volume 1 of Jewel Joker, I picked that up. I actually pre-ordered it on Amazon, so I got this special cover and I still have it in its casing, and I'm gonna leave it that way until I get home and it'll go with the rest of my Shugo Chara collection. The first collection that I have, obviously the original release, is in English, but this one's in Japanese, and I thought that this would be a good way for me to practice my Japanese reading. For the 20th anniversary of the series, or was it the 15th anniversary? I can't, there was an anniversary and they re-released the original 13 volumes, but in like 5 volumes, I believe it was, or 5 or 6 volumes. And I thought about getting those ones in Japanese, but it's not a priority purchase for me, so like that'll be like a future thing. But yeah, so they haven't announced an English like release for this series yet, and even if once they do, it's like it's gonna take like a year or 2 years for them, and usually between the Japanese release and the English official release there's usually about a year or more in between. So if I was waiting for the English release, I'd be waiting a long time. So I decided to just pick up the Japanese version, and again, it gives me some fun new practice material for learning Japanese. So that was purchase number one. I believe this also has a card inside, like a trading card kind of thing. I believe it does. Or I think it might even have multiple, but yeah, I'll let you know when I do open it up. I'm not gonna open it up now. Anyway, we're gonna move on. But we're still gonna stay in the same category because Shugo Chara did a pop-up cafe. They've done a few things like that during my time here, but I wasn't as like ear to the ground with stuff, so I missed out on a lot of things. It was an okay experience. I will talk more about it in that vlog eventually as a part of the documentary of my first year in Japan that I'll be releasing starting in probably, I'm thinking late April. I'll start releasing episodes for that. So you'll hear more about that eventually, and I'll go more into detail. Unfortunately, when I went, the merch was pretty much cleaned out by that point, and it doesn't seem like the cafe restocks the merch once stuff is sold out. So there's very little of like the really cool products I would have wanted. There was these very specific acrylic keychains that were super cute, and that was like what everybody was looking around for, was that, because they had them hung up as like an example, but they didn't actually have the stock. They had very few things left, and the few things that they did have were a little pricey for what they are, so it was a little disappointing, but I wanted souvenirs from the experience. So I got these two stickers. One of Ikuto, one of Amu. They're holographic. They're quite large, but these were about 800 yen each, which is super expensive for single large stickers. I was not impressed with the price. I don't know. I don't love the way Ikuto was drawn personally. Like, it's not my favorite look he's ever had, but it's okay. It'll do for my journaling, and I'll take what I could get, you know? I was a little disappointed in the merch. I kind of would have liked more like the guardian eggs and stuff. They could have had little keychains for the guardian eggs and things like that. It just kind of felt like the merch was really phoned in and really simple, and of course the really cool merch that everyone would want, they didn't make more of it. So like it was out of stock, like from when the minute they opened, like they just didn't restock any of the merch. So that was really disappointing, to be honest with you. I would have gotten so much more stuff if it had been available, and if the, you know, merch had been a little more creative. But that's kind of what I've found with a lot of the Shugo Chara pop-ups that I've been to, is that the merch is really not super creative. Anyway, I digress. We're gonna move on. And since we're talking about eggs and guardian eggs, that brings me to my next item, which is a Tamagotchi. Ha ha ha. I had one of these as a kid when they first came out in the West and was super into it. I remember bawling my eyes out when it died because I went somewhere and I forgot to feed it. I can't remember. I just remember I forgot to feed it and it died, and I bawled my eyes out and pulled a tantrum, and my dad was like not cool about it. Like, he didn't handle it well at all. But like I vividly remember just losing my mind because I was so like emotionally attached to this little egg buddy that I grieved deeply. But anyway, I was actually looking for Tamagotchis as a gift for somebody. I'm gonna do a souvenir video of all the souvenirs I got for family and friends, so you'll see more of that there. But I went to the Tamagotchi store looking for them. Like, there was a whole section for them in the Namco Bandai store that's located in Sunshine City, but all of them were like blind boxes basically. I think, like, I don't know, all the boxes look the same. I wanted to get them one that I knew what it looked like so that it was like their aesthetic, but I couldn't tell, so I ended up not buying anything from there, and I ended up going into Toys R Us to look for something kind of different. But I thought I might be able to find Tamagotchis at Toys R Us, and sure enough I did, and they actually only had 2 left, one of each color of the Japan edition, and they were cheaper than anywhere else I've seen Tamagotchis. Like they're usually like 3,700 yen or so, and this was 2,999 for this one. And I thought it's kind of cool that it's like a Japan one. So it comes in this color, or there was purple. I don't know if there was another color, but those were only 2 left. So I asked them which color they like between red and purple. Just the color. They don't know what they're getting. And they said purple, which I was kind of happy about because I wanted the red. And as you can see, I haven't opened it up yet. I figured that's something I can do with them together. We can start them up. And so I'm gonna wait on that, but I have it, and I was really excited about this. I wasn't originally gonna get myself one, but when I saw that there was only 2 left of one of each color and they were cheaper than I was budgeting them to be, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get it for myself too, because I thought that would be fun and it would be nice to have one of these again. They've recently had a surge in popularity here in Japan. I've seen a lot of girls carrying them around and having like cute like silicone cases for them. I think Tamagotchi and other similar products, they never really died out the way that they did in the West, right? Like they were like a fad for like 6 months to a year. They were really big and then they were gone. Whereas like in Japan, they've never stopped selling them, so they never stopped being a thing. But I feel like lately I've seen a massive increase in like decorating your Tamagotchis and getting like different cases, like third-party cases being sold for them. And it just kind of feels like I've been seeing them a lot among celebrities as well, having them, a lot of idols having them and showcasing them and whatever. So I feel like there's definitely a little bit of like a resurgence happening. I feel like I got them at a good time while they're gaining in popularity, but they haven't quite, it's not like a whoosh, you know what I mean, just yet. So yeah, so there's that. Going back to stationery for just a second, because it wouldn't be a haul video for me if stationery didn't make an appearance. While I was looking for the Tamagotchis, there was a section nearby that was all like just general like different video game characters and stuff. Popular characters like Moomin and Studio Ghibli, Mario, just that kind of thing. And they had Animal Crossing merch. Okay, that wasn't what I was planning on doing today. 750 yen, are you fucking kidding? Oh my god. And you can't find this stuff in Canada, right? Or the States, really, very rarely. Usually when you can find stuff like this, it's usually fan-made. It's always really exciting, you know, when I'm in Japan, I'm finding merch or like goods of series that I really love, and I'm like, oh my god, like they have this. Like it's funny because it's like I'm never not surprised about it, even though it's sort of a norm here. But anyway, I got these 2 sticker packs. There was more things I wanted to buy, but I ended up putting some stuff back so that I wasn't overspending because this wasn't in the budget. I was souvenir shopping for family and instead I was buying stuff for myself. But I got these 2 sticker sets, and then I got some washi tape. So I got this one of Timmy and Tommy because I thought that one was kind of cute. I got this one that has all the main like NPC characters. Like there's KK Slider, Mabel, I see Blathers under there as well. And then finally this one, Dobutsu no Mori, and it's all of the main characters from Animal Crossing New Horizons, all of the main PC characters. So, and some of the main buildings as well, like the town hall and that kind of thing. So I just thought that'd be cute for journaling because I'm definitely gonna get back into journaling. I think I want to start a game journal, and I want to focus probably several entries on Animal Crossing, as I'm using video games to practice my Japanese, and I'm gonna make a video series on that, so you'll see that in the future. But that's my Animal Crossing stationery. Now, I've bought a few other sticker packs than just what I'm gonna show you, but those ones I bought for like a project that I was doing, postcard project. And like they're just like the thank you seals and stuff, like stickers that you use to close packaging and envelopes and stuff. And then like these really pretty stamp stickers. Actually, I will show you those because they're very pretty. And I got this set. Isn't that so pretty? It's kind of like a watercolor look to it. I really loved how pretty this looked when I saw it. So I got that. I got this one, which is cats getting drunk at a hanami. I loved it so much. So I got this one. This one felt like a must. The next three have been used because I started using them for my postcard project that I did for my teachers. I hand painted them postcards and then used these for the postcard stamps, but you can kind of get the gist of them, and I do have shots of them when they had all of their stickers. But I got these two. I said in my stationery haul video from February that I really wanted to go back and get these. I mentioned that, and I did. I also got another one of these, which has been used a little bit again for that same project. And finally, this stamp sticker set, because I'm making more postcards for my family members, and I thought, I saw these yesterday actually and was like, oh, that would make sense. So I'm gonna use those in the stamp placement. One more stationery item. We're almost done. But yesterday while I was out as well, I found this yuzu at Daiso. It's a yuzu washi, and I thought that was so funny and so cute. I have one of apples, cherries. I don't have a strawberry one, and strawberries are my favorite, but I do have the apples and the cherries, so I now have yuzu as well. And I'm definitely sure I can make use of that in my journal, scrapbook when that's been made. Earlier I talked about the Shugo Chara cafe, but I also went to the Juice Cafe. I'm a pretty big Hello Project fan, have been for years. I've done other videos where I've talked about Hello Project groups, where I've talked about Juice specifically. So if you're interested in getting to know them or other idol groups and like singers that I recommend, check those videos out. I went to the Juice Cafe twice because I really wanted a very specific pin, and they were sold out both times. The first time they were sold out of almost all of the merch, and so I was only able to get one keychain, which I was happy about because it was my favorite member, so I was relieved, but there was a specific pin that I wanted. And then the same thing happened the second time when I went. Everything was stocked up except the one pin that I wanted, and I was so upset. I have it kind of covered up so you can't see what merch is inside the cafe because you have to order in advance to get in. So once you're in, you're stuck in there. So it's like you can't just go in and buy merch and leave. You have to also order food, and I didn't want to spend more money on a cafe that has been a dud twice. But I couldn't tell if they had them or not, and because I wasn't sure, I just left. I didn't bother spending money on it a third time. So the first time I got Ruru, and I strongly recommend checking Ruru out, even just individually. Ruru-chan's voice is phenomenal. She has some of the best vocals of the current generation of Hello Project, but also just like in the history of Hello Project. I would put her up there in vocals, so I really do think she's worth checking out at the very least. And Ray-chan as well. Actually, Ray is also a phenomenal vocalist. She was a member of Kobushi Factory and then became a member of Juice. And again, both those groups I've talked about in previous videos. I really like her as well. So I have two keychains of two of my favorite Juice members, and that's okay, but I really wanted the pin. It was like a cute little coffee cup. It was so freaking cute. And I know when the cafe ends, the people that have been buying them up are going to be selling them on eBay for like 4 times the price, because that's where they're all going. It's fans buying them up so they can resell them, and that really sucks. Other nerdy things. I went to the Nintendo store to pick up a gift, a souvenir for one of my cousins. The last time I was at the Nintendo store, I picked up a Navi pin. I'm a really big fan of pins these days, like enamel pins, and there's so much stuff there, like for Animal Crossing and Zelda, which are 2 of my most favorite series in terms of video games. Zelda specifically, I'm a diehard Zelda fan, I'm a diehard Animal Crossing fan, so it's freaking heaven in there, dude. But everything's so expensive. It really sucks, because especially some of those keychains and like pins should not be over 1,000 yen. Like,
Jesus Christ, Nintendo, are you serious?
it's a little bit kind of out there in pricing, to be real with you, but the last time I held off on getting this particular keychain, I thought, you know, I'll come back at some point, and then didn't. But this time I did. I picked it up. It's the Lon Lon Ranch milk, which is cute, right? I personally like merch and goods that are like subtle, you know, like if you know, you know kind of thing. I don't want like Link plastered all over my shirt in bright colors, although that can be cool sometimes, like Snoopy, like sometimes it can be fine, but for the most part I like things to be able to fit in with my wardrobe and my aesthetics and my lifestyle in a more subtle way. So like I thought that this was kind of a little more of a if you know, you know, you know. Speaking of Snoopy, actually, this is perfect. We're really segueing from one item to another so perfectly in this video. We have Woodstock. So yesterday I went to the Snoopy Cafe in Harajuku and really enjoyed my time there. I really do recommend it. Again, that's a future vlog. And I wasn't intending on buying merch, but I couldn't help it with this guy, because I actually do have a giant Snoopy that a lot of you have probably seen. If you're not new to my channel, you've probably seen him make appearances occasionally as B-roll footage. Where was I going with that? He was a little bit expensive, I'm not gonna lie. He was 3,700 yen, and the Snoopy equivalent to him was like 4,700. It was a little bit more. I decided to do it because I already have the Snoopy. He needs his Woodstock, and I did want at least like one thing from the shop, and so I got this little Woodstock with his little apron. I actually would have preferred him without the apron, to be honest, but it's a cute little cafe souvenir, and definitely I plan on going back to that cafe for sure. There's other items I'd like to try. And it doesn't seem to be limited time. I think it's been there for a while, and I think it's definitely staying, so I'll go back at some point. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. I normally don't like to include like subscribe to my channel in my videos. In fact, I've pretty much never really done it very much. I feel almost bad asking people to subscribe. Like, I want you to do it because you want to, not because I asked. But recently it came to my attention that if people aren't reminded to subscribe, they often won't do it. Even though they genuinely would want to, they just forget to, and then they can't find you again, or they watch your content without realizing they're not subscribed. So I'm sorry, but here's a little bit of a reminder to subscribe if you like these sorts of videos from me. I do a lot of art related content, but also a lot of Japanese language and language learning content, a lot of Japan pop culture and entertainment related content, and also things like fashion, journaling, vlogging as well. I think by the time this video goes up, I'll have the docu-vlog series started as well. That's gonna be an episodic docu-vlog that follows my first year in Japan, the whole moving process, as well as, you know, all of my struggles, the good, the bad, the ugly. It's gonna cover pretty much everything in a lot of depth. So if that sounds good to you, that's something you want to check out, there will be a playlist for that. I usually post on Sundays. That's my regular schedule of Sundays. If I can't post on a Sunday, I will let you guys know in advance. I like to keep you updated with that community page, so you know not to expect something from me that week. If there's some videos that I feel it's important for me to get out sooner and I have too many videos lined up already, I'll have like occasional Wednesday posts as well, but for the most part it's Sundays for those of you that are new here and aren't familiar with the schedule. So with that said, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you around in my future videos.